Number 11, Nate Rosenbauer.
Hello, test 1, 2.
Eric Hubbard, assistant Mr. Lance Stunking. And now, for your fine Astros of East Chillicothe. Starting up for 6'2" senior. Number 20, Dalton Floyd. At the other board, 6'2" sophomore. Number 23, Johnny Blair. 21 center, 6'1" junior. Number 34, Levi Luttrell. Starting one guard, 5'10" senior. Number 21, Jared Huff. And the guard, 5'8" junior. Number 10, Eli Snow. Masters and Scott Streeter. Assistants Jeff Luttrell and Mr. Justin Stewart. Tonight's officials, Mr. Bill Loud, Mr. Kip Shoemaker, Mr. Evan Cadwalader.
Welcome to East Clinton High School. I'm Jeremy Yankey alongside with Matt Baker. And after many technical difficulties, we finally join you right here as we're getting ready to tip off between the East Clinton Astros and Chillicothe Cavaliers. East Clinton comes in tonight, senior night, final home contest of the year with a 10-11 record, 2-9 overall, or in the SCOL. Chillicothe comes in with a 14-6 overall record, 9-2 in the SCOL. We've tipped it off. Chillicothe's won the tip. Matt, take over for us.
Well, I appreciate it, Jeremy. As you said, a few technical difficulties under our belt, but we're ready to go with the audio broadcast of tonight's contest. First shot by number 12 of the Cavaliers, that's Tommy Bolt. It comes up a little long on the iron. Rebound by Dalton Floyd. Dalton Floyd comes back to Johnny Blair. Johnny Blair's looking for the open cut. Jared Huff with the open cut to Dalton Floyd, and a 2-point bucket from underneath the basket.
We may have called that an assist there.
Yeah, we'll call that an assist. Dalton Floyd with another rebound coming back up the court. As he drives up the court, he's stopped by Bolt. He's going to be called for the carry on that outside of the wing position. Looked like he was about to drive forward, but just got a little over anxious with his dribble.
Yeah, I've seen a little crease there in the lane. Thought he might take it pretty quick, but it looked like he did kind of turn the ball over a little bit.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit. Do we know who their two losses are in the SCOL? I would assume Washington Courthouse.
Washington Courthouse
Yeah.
is one of them.
Okay.
And I cannot be 100% certain on the other. I was trying to find as much information as I could today. I wasn't able to find too much.
Well, since Washington Courthouse only lost to Massey so far, maybe both losses are to Courthouse at this point. Dalton Floyd, 2-point basket underneath.
That may be possible, Matt. I'm not sure. That may be the case.
Right.
Because I know Washington Courthouse has still only lost one to this point in the SCOL.
Yep.
And this would be Chillicothe's last game, so I would have to think that would be correct.
Yeah. But at this point, we're at a 4-2 lead for the Astros. Chillicothe gets the ball at the front of the hoop, but brings it back out to the 3-point line. Bolt gives a little shimmy shake, puts the ball up, missed. Dalton Floyd with another rebound, pushes Bolt off of him. It's rejected by Bolt. He goes behind the back, and that ball's going to be hit out of bounds by number 42. That's Matt Benson. Matt Benson on the.
Dalton got that ball tapped away and then was able to recover it nicely. A nice dribble behind the back, but kind of got carried away with his pass a little bit.
Yeah. Clyde Snow passes it to Jared Huff. Jared Huff to Dalton Floyd. Back to Jared Huff. Up and over. Tries to bring it over Benson. Benson brings it to him. Johnny Blair gets the ball. That ball's going to be staying with the Cavaliers after it goes out of bounds, touching an Astro player last.
Levi Luttrell made a nice play on the ball there. There was an easy layup, and he was able to tap that ball away.
Yeah.
Help get the Astros get their defense set up here.
Bring the ball out to the top of the key. Bolt to the top of the key. Somebody called on a foul. Looks like Levi Luttrell is going to pick up his first one. Yeah. He's going to get 2 shots. You know, what's interesting, Jeremy, is for a school as big as Chillicothe, they don't have anybody obnoxiously tall. They've got some height, similar to Dalton, similar to Johnny Blair, but nobody that Massey has, like a 6'6" guy, a towering.
Yeah, you're right, and I've had a lot of experience with Chillicothe high school basketball, officiating. I've been there a number of times, and this doesn't look like their typical team. They usually have a lot of outstanding athletes. I've seen some great basketball players come out of there, but you know, as I'm just looking at the first 3 minutes of this game, they don't look like they're a very athletic team.
Well, I think that's what'll surprise us is that even though they don't have any overbearing height, for some reason it looks like they're able to stay with the more athletic Astros.
Right, and you know, as you look at both teams, you just with the look, they both look similar, like you said. I mean, there's not a real big difference there in between the two teams.
Tommy Bolt calling for the ball, but it's going to be passed off to number 11, Nate Rosenbauer. Rosenbauer takes it to the rack, scores a 2-point goal, giving the Cavaliers a 6-4 lead.
Nice drive there by Rosenbauer. Seen the crease in the lane there and took advantage of the Astros defense. No one was able to step into the lane and pick him up and stop that drive.
And from what I remember, being at the Chillicothe game when they were at Chillicothe, it's going to be a whole lot of driving, and as soon as you close the lane, it's going to be kick-out threes. I don't remember exactly what their percentage was, but I would say last game they were hitting somewhere around 30 to 40% of their threes, which, of course, in any game at any time, you'll take 30% of your 3 points all day long.
Well, for sure.
So they're not going to count the basket on that one. They weren't going to call. Is there a continuation in high school? I don't really think so. Is there?
No, not as the NBA where you can still continue with 3 or 4 steps after you're fouled and make it. No.
Number 12, Tommy Bolt's going to be called for the foul, and Dalton's going to take 2 shots.
The only thing I can say to that, Matt, is once the player has picked up his dribble and he's driving to the basket, that's when the shot begins, and that's where the line of, you know, that true definition is. Where does the dribble end and the shot begin? It's once the dribble has stopped and he's now making progress towards the basket.
So if he takes a step and in the process gets hit before he releases the ball, they're not going to call that continuation.
Well, if he's still on the dribble, if the official determines that he's still in the act of dribbling the basketball, no.
Up again to Tommy Bolt. Tommy Bolt brings it back to the top of the key to number 35. And that looks like Isaiah Johnson. Isaiah Johnson with a miss off the back of the iron. Johnny Blair brings the ball back up the court. Going to push it to Dalton Floyd on the top of the key. Brings Clyde over to start the offense. Clyde Snow brings it into Levi Luttrell. He's going to drop it inside, and it's going to be a turnover to Benson for the Cavaliers. Tommy Bolt brings the ball back up the court. Mishandles it just a minute. Brings it out to number 2, Eddie Wells, who hits a 3-point shot. That's a 3-point shot from the corner. Going to make it a 9-5 lead for the Astros. Ball's rebounded by 12. Tommy Bolt to number 35 is Isaiah Johnson. Johnson's going to call Scott Streever's going to call a quick timeout, 11-5 with a 9-0 run here. 9-1 run, sorry.
Yeah, Matt, it looks like Chillicothe's they're wanting to get it up and down the court. I think, you know, and looking at it physically now, we can see a little bit there. Chillicothe seems to be a little bit faster in East Clinton, or at least they're willing to get up the court a little bit quicker at this point.
And that might be the difference. It's the want to rather than the can.
Exactly.
Just on that note, it looks like we're going to change and add a little more speed to the lineup with Cole Floyd coming in. From what Scott Streever said, Cole Floyd is the fastest, just, you know, hoof it kind of player. I mean, just you know, step for step is the fastest kid on the team.
Right, and halfway through this first quarter, we see that, like I said, Chillicothe's wanting to get it up and down the court. We're going to need some quick defenders out there to be able to help stop that. Because as soon as the East Clinton's shooting the ball at their offensive end and the Chillicothe players are recognizing that they're getting that rebound, they're sprinting down to the other end of the court, trying to get a fast break opportunity.
Nolan Taylor in for the Cavaliers. Jared Huff gets the ball, swings it out to Dalton Floyd. Levi Luttrell's fronted in the process. It just looks like we're getting a little frustrated, and we're trying to push things that really aren't there. We're trying to add things that.
Yeah, Chillicothe, it looks like they're getting us to play the type of tempo they're wanting to play.
Yeah.
They're wanting to play fast.
Yeah.
And we're trying to compensate and play fast like they are, and they're beating us to the points, to the pass and to the ball, and it seems like we're a little flustered right now offensively.
Yeah, patience is a virtue, I've been told. Johnny Blair to bring the ball in. Jared Huff gets it at the left side of the top of the key there. Dalton Floyd turns around with a floater. 2-point attempt is missed. Johnny Blair is going to go up, get the foul, and the score. It's going to make it an 11-7 Cavaliers lead. Number 22 is Nolan Taylor for the Cavaliers. He's going to be charged with his first foul.
And I'll have to give Cole Floyd credit there. He didn't get the offensive rebound off the missed shot, but was able to go up between two Chillicothe guys and be able to tap the ball just enough for Johnny Blair to get it and be able to put it in and get the foul.
Ball steps out. With the ball, Cavaliers are going to step out of bounds, so that's going to turn it over to the Astros. Looks like we're setting up a little press break here. Number 11, Rosenbauer, is on the ball, and he's going to back off. Johnny Blair is going to bring the ball across the timeline. Pass it off to Dalton Floyd. And again, we just need to take our time here. If something doesn't open, rotate, move around.
I'll have to say, this Chillicothe defense is very aggressive. I mean, they're up in your face, right up on you.
Yeah, it looked like on that play, Jared Huff had a three-point attempt, and then the Cavaliers player almost pushed him into the first row. Didn't get called by the ref, but that's okay. Jarrett's gonna get called for the foul, and the basket's good. It's one of those situations, if you're going to cost yourself a foul, you've got to take care of the ball not going in the hoop.
Yeah, exactly. You got to make sure that ball doesn't go through the hoop. And once again, Chillicothe just beating us back down the court.
Yeah, again, I'm not sure if it's better athleticism or just want to at this point. It seems like they're just beating us down the court with a little want to.
Right. I agree with you there. I don't know that they're better athletes per se, but they're certainly just looking for every opportunity to sprint to the other end of the court. And it looks like we're kind of just standing there in slow motion.
Yep. Caleb Kaplinger gets the ball at the top. Johnny Blair fakes the three-point shot. Back to Caleb Kaplinger. Kaplinger drives to Dalton with a little two-point shot on the side. The rebound by number 22 of the Cavaliers, Nolan Taylor. Taylor passes it to Bolt. Bolt brings the ball up the court. Takes a long two-pointer with it off the front of the rim. Johnny Blair's going to be called for the foul, and it's going to give two shots to Nolan Taylor. Actually, it's going to be called on Caleb Kaplinger.
Nolan Taylor, 2 shots.
You know, looking over some of our statistics, looks like Dalton Floyd, 40 offensive rebounds, 117 defensive rebounds in 21 games. That's a, that's a career year in itself. The kid can score, but he also has a good nose for the ball when it's up against the rim, and he wants that rebound. He'll get another one right here. Already had a few in the game, defensive rebounds. Steal by Bolt. Kind of saw that one coming, anticipated the pass, brings it to Taylor. Blocked by Johnny Blair. Brings it back out to number 2, Isaiah Johnson. Oh, I'm sorry, number 2 is Eddie Wells. Eddie Wells cuts to the basket. Number 11, Nate Rosenbauer gets the ball turned over to Dalton Floyd. Number 42, which is Benson.
Yeah, it's kind of a silly foul there, Matt.
Yeah.
Just really didn't even need to try to make a play on the ball. Wasn't in position to make a play. The ball's at midcourt. no sense in fouling a guy 40 feet away from the basket.
And
have
Astros,
no chance of even making a play.
Yeah, we didn't even have the numbers there, so probably the ball was slowing down anyway. We'll take a cheap one when we can get it. Caleb Kaplinger brings the ball back up, gives it to Cole Floyd. Cole Floyd with defense on him by number 2, Eddie Wells, turns it over to Clyde Snow. Clyde Snow tries to set up a drive into the offense. Great help defense by the Cavaliers at this point.
Yeah,
Floyd.
I have to say that what Chillicothe lacks in their height, they make up for in their quickness and aggressiveness.
Cavaliers are giving it to him something serious on the sideline. The ref as he passes by.
Cavaliers foul. Number 22, Alexander, his second, team's fifth.
So I guess we'll go back to your refereeing experience. How much do you let them have before you turn around and say, that's enough?
I was never one that really let the coaches get to me, so I guess every official's a little bit different. As long as they're not on the court, getting in your way and saying anything too far out of line, I just let them go. I mean, they're there doing their job. I'm trying to do my job, and if I'm doing my job well enough, I'm really not even paying attention to them, honestly.
And it's as long as it's about you and not the kids. If
Right.
they start touching kids, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just as long as they don't cross the line, and I think everyone kind of knows that line. As long as not using too much profanity and not getting in your way of being able to officiate, then
Right. Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank you for joining us on GTVR, the East Clinton Astro channel, here on a lovely Wednesday night, although I am losing track of my days at this point with snow days here at school and President's Day. Nice recovery by Cole Floyd. Tommy Bolt brings the ball back out. Looks like an isolation play, 4 corners. He's trying to turn the ball over just a little bit. He got 15 seconds left, so he's looking for a last shot. Brings it out to number 35, Isaiah Johnson. Johnson goes up. Going to be called for an overback foul on Benson, number 42. I believe that might be 2 for him already.
that is, and both of them were silly fouls, Matt.
Yeah, that's the reach out,
About
yeah.
a minute ago, they made the foul there at half court. Now he had no chance to get the rebound and went up over Dalton's back, and silly fouls. That's 2 for him quickly.
Right. Coach elects to leave him in, so Clyde Snow brings the ball up the court with 5 seconds left. Looks for a pick. Quick shot. And it's going to be off the mark just a little bit. Johnny Blair tries to put one up at the last second just to finish the first quarter at a 14-9. 14-9.
Cheerleaders and coaches all report.
That's going to be a 6-point lead. I'm sorry, a 5-point lead for the Cavaliers after 1.
Yeah, one thing to note, Matt, is East Clinton's already in the bonus. They're going to be going to the line shooting free throws the rest of this half, throughout the entire second quarter. So if the free throw shooting can be good for them, and they stand to pick up a lot of fouls, obviously, because we're already at that point, but just with the style of defense that Chillicothe played in that first quarter, they're very aggressive in your face. So East Clinton's going to get some fouls.
Right.
And, we mentioned the 2 silly fouls by Benson. They're very aggressive. I give them credit for that. You can't take anything away from them for their efforts, but they make some silly fouls.
And percentage-wise, Jared Huff, he's shooting 87% from the foul line. Clyde Snow is 86%. Cole Floyd, 75. Dalton Floyd's right at around 58%. So, depending on who you put up there, you've got about a 70% chance of making it.
Yeah, right. They do tend to shoot the ball pretty well from the free throw line. I know Dalton has obviously not shot the ball from the free throw line as of late. I know he was up around the 68%, almost 70% a few weeks back. So here recently he's not shot the ball well from the free throw line. But hopefully he has his best game, as a senior tonight, his last night playing here in this gym. I know it'd mean a lot to him to go out on a winning note, beat a team like Chillicothe. So
Chillicothe's going to try to get the inbounds pass. It goes off a Cavaliers hand, number 3, Jordan Johnson. It'll be returned to the Astros with a sideline play here. Levi Luttrell gets the ball at the top of the key, brings it to Clyde Snow. Clyde Snow is going to be called with a charging foul.
That's going to be 2 fouls on Clyde already, man. And I got to agree there. I mean, the defender was there. He had his position. It's a close call. It's always such a judgmental call, but
hardest call in refereeing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And all of officiating. I don't care if you're an umpire.
Are you saying balls and strikes and a play at the plate is harder than or not as hard as a player control foul?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I guess I'm biased because I officiated basketball for so long.
There's been a few plays at the plate that I've thought were pretty close, but yeah, I would agree as far as subjectiveness, it's probably one of the most subjective calls that you could possibly have, so it's going to be tough. Levi Lettrell, that's going to be 2 on him, I believe, so far.
This is team 6. Isaiah Johnson, 2 shots.
So out of the 6 fouls, 2 are to Snow and 2 are to Lettrell.
Fouls might become an issue here for East Clinton as well, now as we picked up our 6th also. So officials are calling a lot of fouls. Both teams are playing very aggressive. It's going to be a fast-paced game, what we've seen to this point. Hopefully East Clinton can just hang in here and hang with these Cavaliers.
And what's a little interesting is if fouls are an issue, it looks like the Cavaliers so far have subbed in 3 and the Astros have subbed in 3 with Jesse Livingston coming to the game on that last foul. So I wonder if depth on either side is going to be an issue. Caleb Kaplinger with the ball as he drives to the hoop. Brings the ball up. Basket by Caleb Kaplinger brings it to a 5-point deficit for the Astros. Kaplinger brings the ball up and Isaiah Johnson scores from the wing, driving the ball all the way to the hoop. Nice little up and under lay-in there.
Yeah, Isaiah looks like a real nice basketball player. Very aggressive. 6 points for him already.
Tommy Bolt with a block from behind. He's going to have an easy layup, returning it to the other side of the court. Jared Huff brings the ball up to the left side. Caleb Kaplinger also from the left side. Ball gets pushed out of bounds against an Astro, so it's going to be turned over to the Cavaliers with 6:40 left. 20-11 is your score right now.
Matt, as you mentioned, that last basket by Bolt for the Cavaliers gives him 6 points as well.
Missing a rebounder there, so Cole Floyd gets a rebound after Jesse Livingston got a partial block on the ball. Jesse Livingston gets the ball stripped, but it's right to Caleb Kaplinger. The ball's out of bounds. Kaplinger misses the rim on that one.
Seems like the last few times down the court, East Clinton's kind of struggled just to get a good look at the basket. And Dalton Floyd coming back into the game now for the Astros.
That's a compliment to the defense of the Cavaliers at this point. They are doing what they're told to do by knowing who to get and knowing who to help. Looks like a little change into a box and one, maybe a 1-2-2 here. No, it's a 1-2-2. So on the outside there, change up a little bit in defense. Looked like a walk there. Whoa, going to be called for the foul. Isaiah Johnson gets a call. Apparently he's going to look. He even says himself that he thought it was a travel. He was walking the other way.
Yeah, he very well may have got away with the travel there. I gotta agree with you and as well that there might have been a travel there. But Isaiah Johnson will be going to the line for 2 free throws here.
That's pretty bad when the player that says he committed a penalty has to turn around and go back to the foul line because he's told, nope, you did something right, son.
Yeah. Yeah, Johnson thought he may have walked there, headed up court, and then realized that he was given the gift of a foul and was able to go to the free throw line and make 1 out of 2.
Right.
Moving that to a 10-point lead now for the Cavaliers, 21-11.
Astros are going to bring the ball across the timeline. That's Clyde Snow to Dalton Floyd.
And Dalton looked like he had a layup there that he could have taken advantage of there, Matt, and for whatever reason decided to just dish it off to Jesse Livingston, who had an open look, but Dalton could have very well just laid that, almost finger rolled that ball.
Yeah, it looked like he was almost head above the rim. I'll tell you, I don't know. These refs must be doing a good job because this coach would already have something said by me. He's in his ear every single time he comes down the court, it seems like. Yeah. But that's why you guys are taught patience at the instructional level.
Well, yeah, patience certainly helps, but, just being zoned in as an official, staying focused to what you're there for. A lot of times you hear so much in the gym because the gyms are so loud, you don't even hear that coach as he's right there by you. At least from my experience. I mean, I was one that never, I didn't try to listen to a coach. And long three-pointer.
Yeah, I mean, he was a good 3 feet behind the line, Josh Johnson, who I saw as a reserve player, maybe the staple of the reserve team. Looks like he's getting a little playing time here on varsity. Nice long 3-point play there. Pass out to Clyde Snow. Clyde Snow, like you said, aggressive is a good word. I mean, these Cavaliers have their hands all over the Astros. If they're off the ball, on the ball, it doesn't matter. Their hands just all over them.
Right. I mean, as soon as one of the Astro players get possession of the basketball, there's a blue jersey in his face with a hand right up on him and making him work just to dribble the ball.
Yeah. Number 3 on a foul is Josh Johnson. He's going to be called for the underneath foul.
2 shots.
Cole Floyd will have 2 shots here with an 11-point lead for the Cavaliers.
And we mentioned that free throw shooting by the Astros. Some good free throw shooting for the year as Cole makes that first one. He's a 75% free throw shooter for the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder how many of those they took in the Floyd barn out back. I mean, I'd say quite a few.
A lot. Yeah. Many, probably thousands, I would say.
He's going to go 2 for 2 there, which brings it now to a 9-point deficit for the Astros 24-15 Cavaliers.
And knowing Cole and Dalton, there was some type of competitive.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, some type of competitive nature as they were jawing with one another about who could make more.
And somebody had to put the dishes away after they lost,
I'm sure Mom did that.
Yeah. Cole Floyd with a steal. No numbers here, but he's going to turn around in the lane. Miss a shot off the back of the iron to Tommy Bolt. Tommy Bolt for the Cavaliers crosses the lane, goes up off the back of the iron. Number 23, Steve Bayless kicks that ball out. Josh Johnson again off the back of the iron and the side of the backboard. Ball stolen by number 11, Nate Rosenbauer. Rosenbauer to Isaiah Johnson. Johnson up for 2.
Isaiah Johnson.
We're going to have a timeout, a full timeout called by Scott Strieber.
Yeah, Matt, and Dalton Floyd made a nice rebound there, but he kind of made just a lazy pass up the court that the Chillicothe defender was able to bat away and gain possession of. And with this type of defense that they're seeing, you cannot make lazy passes. Those passes better be fired to your teammates or bounce pass or use something like that.
Absolutely.
And Isaiah Johnson putting together a nice first half for himself with 9 points now. Yeah, Matt, I'll comment as I came into the gym tonight. What a nice crowd. I know it's the final home game of the year for the Astros, senior night, but it's a Wednesday night, and we've had so many makeups and games pushed together. But I have to compliment even Chillicothe. They've got a nice
they did travel well.
Them.
Yes.
You know, for the farthest distance to come in the SCOL, they've brought a nice crowd here on a Wednesday night.
I agree wholeheartedly. It's a nice crowd from both sides, especially like you said. It's a Wednesday evening. It's a midweek game with rescheduled about 2 times already. So it definitely is a nice surprise for the seniors. Looks like Clyde Snow is going to get the ball. He's going to cross the timeline here with number 11 as his defender, Nate Rosenbauer. Jesse Livingston to Cole Floyd. Cole Floyd does a reverse layup using the basket for protection. Brings the ball to the left side from the right side and scores.
What a play by Cole there.
Great.
Go up between 2 defenders and a nice pass by Jesse Livingston to get him the ball.
Absolutely. Maybe a play called from the timeout there. Jesse Livingston, the ball gets kicked out by the Cavaliers, and that's going to be turned over to the Astros. And I'll tell you what, you might not have caught it from your angle there, but Cole Floyd actually showed a little bit of emotion.
Yeah.
He did. He gave a fist pump and a yeah. I mean, that would be like them saying, that Abe Lincoln lied. I mean, it was just that was amazing.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Cole is very I don't know how to put it, I guess. You don't get a lot of emotion.
No.
You get a lot of effort. You get a lot of heart.
We'll say even keeled.
Yeah, there you go. Just out there playing his butt off, playing hard, but really without emotion.
Right.
He doesn't get
Defender.
flustered one way or the other.
Jesse Livingston gets the ball, kicks it way out to Clyde Snow. He's going to touch it as he goes out of bounds. That's going to be a turnover for the Astros. And I'll be honest with you, Jeremy, I would say our turnovers right now somewhere in the 10 to 12 range. I mean, it's high, real high.
Definitely, Matt. I agree. I'm not keeping track of that here.
Yeah.
But, and all that, I have to give credit to Chillicothe's defense, as we keep commenting, just about how aggressive they're playing defense.
I will say this, ever since Cole Floyd came in, Tommy Bolt has been shut down a little bit, coming off 6 points immediately, and then it's kind of quieted down with Cole Floyd on him.
Yeah, definitely, and Cole he's a defender. I mean, he plays hard, and I guess I would like him more to the Chillicothe side. Those guys play defense like Cole Floyd plays defense. If there's any one guy I can point to on the East Clinton side that plays defense like they do, it's him.
Ball's returned to Clyde Snow. Clyde Snow for a three-point shot off the front of the rim. Jared Huff goes out of bounds. Off White. It's going to be turned over to the Cavaliers.
Checking back into the game for the Astros, Johnny Blair and Caleb Kaplinger coming out, Clyde Snow and Jesse Livingston.
You just have to wonder how long Cole Floyd can go playing, we'll call it ramped up defense, this level 10 defense against Tommy Bolt. Cuts through a screen, a great job there defending against a screen. Eddie Wells to Nolan Taylor to Benson. Benson drives the lane, nice 2-point conversion there. Easy layup. Johnny Blair is wincing as he goes down the court. Dalton Floyd with a quick return basket. It's going to be 28-19 for the Cavaliers. So with a 9-point lead, we go in 1 minute and 41 seconds into the second quarter. Cole Floyd gets the rebound off of the Tommy Bolt miss. Johnny Blair is going to bring the ball up the court, crosses the timeline, resets the offense, looks for a pick from Caleb Kaplinger. It definitely.
Be careful of a 5-second count. I was very close there.
Jarrett Huff scores the easy basket, 28-21 lead. And I'll tell you what, even though they mishandled the ball, the Cavaliers were down. And Benson for an easy 2-point bucket. Ball's out of bounds.
Seems like Isaiah Johnson from the bench there, Matt, was wanting to make a call there. An official kind of let him know, do you want to play or left?
I'll be honest with you, I agree with that. I think at some point you got to put them in their place.
Yes.
Johnny Blair with a miss, and then a return, rebound, and a bucket. 30-23, 7-point lead. Benson brings the ball up to Eddie Wells. Eddie Wells looks to get it to Bolt inside. Bolt's going to try to post up. Cole Floyd, he turns to the basket with a spin move. Brings the ball out wide to Benson. Benson misses the 2-point shot. Nolan Taylor gets the ball. They're going to call a foul, looks like, on Johnny Blair there. We'll see if we'll call him on. It's going to be a shooting foul. Johnny Blair with his first foul of the evening. That's going to bring 8 fouls for both teams with 23 seconds left in the second quarter.
Nolan Taylor at the line, 0 for 2 so far from the free throw line tonight.
This is the front end of a 1-on-1 rebound by Johnny Blair. Johnny Blair is going to be defended by Tommy Bolt. Tommy Bolt cuts off his path to the basket. Dalton Floyd gets the ball at the top of the key. Looks for a pick by Caleb Kaplinger. Kaplinger returns. Nice move by Dalton Floyd. Dalton Floyd's going to have it missed. Jared Huff returns it to Dalton Floyd off the rebound. Dalton Floyd from way downtown misses that one. Good decision there with about a second left. Take a chance at it. 30-23 is your halftime score for Your East Clinton Astros down by 7.
Yeah, you know, Matt, I have to think that East Clinton has to be thankful that they're only down by 7 at this point.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, because they got out-hustled, I guess, and almost out everything. Chillicothe was just tremendous in their defensive effort. They rebounded the ball well. They got a lot of good looks. And so just to be down 7 at this point, we're still in this game. And if they can regroup and refocus here in the second half, then we still have a shot to win this ball game.
I couldn't agree more. I think at this point they should be happy. They should regroup. So, it'd be interesting to see what the Astros come up with. Are they going to change their defense a little bit? Are they going to stay with that 1-2-2? It seemed like with Cole Floyd on Tommy Bolt, kind of shut him down just a little bit and slowed him down from his scoring threats early in the game.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think Cole has to be on the court. Just for defensive purposes, I think Cole needs to be out there, and the other players need to pick up their intensity defensively because they're getting it at the other end when they've got the ball. So it just seems like we're a little slow almost. I don't know if it's an intimidating defense that Chillicothe's putting on us that's just made us play that way, but they look really lethargic almost to a point, I guess I should say. But
almost like they're saving it for the game they have next week.
Well, let's hope not. Let's get this tonight. Yeah. I know East Clinton's going to be playing next Wednesday night down at Mount Ord High School, Western Brown.
Yep.
So, that's next season, I should say. That's tournament time. Let's get this win tonight. Let's go into that game next week with a 500 record, coming off a big win against a league opponent that's a very good league opponent. That would mean a lot, I think, to these players and give them a lot of confidence going into next
no
week.
question. I agree.
Come off a loss at home.
I couldn't agree more.
Think about that for a week.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can come out here in the second half. Dalton can get his groove going. We can play some good intense defense and have a great, outstanding effort in the second half.
Tell me how much different practice will be if you win this game tonight for the next week.
Oh, it'd be tremendous because everyone's in a better mood. Yeah. You feel good about going into the game. You feel good about your chances of winning. Because losing can really put just a damper on you mentally. It can, especially, this year we've had stretches where we've lost 3, 4, and 5 games in a row. And those type of losing streaks can really make you just doubt yourself and doubt your ability to win.
And it makes for a long season if you're constantly win, loss, up, down, up, down, up, down. Coming out of that season into the tournament, if you can end with, a good 3 out of 4 last games won, then you're in a better shape for the start of the tournament. You're in better shape for practice the week before. Now, I do have to mention one thing about the tournament. Since we've broadcast last, we saw the draw, and the draw is going to be against possibly my alma mater.
Yeah, I know you and I were talking about that a little bit. And, that'd be exciting.
That would be awesome. That would be absolutely awesome. I would be so excited to say I graduated from one school and the principal of the other. So that would be really neat.
If I get to see some people next week and meet some people there from Finneytown, I want to talk about your history and how you're probably the only basketball member to graduate from there shooting 100%
from three-point land. Absolutely. And believe me, I bring that up constantly. I mean, if I'm going to have any conversation about basketball, besides the fact that I also might hold the record for the most fouls given and the least amount of playing time, I'm going to go with my 100% three-point shot record, definitely. But no, Finneytown's a good school. Graduated there in 1995. They play a style of ball a little different than what we've seen here. It would be along the lines of the Cavaliers. They're going to want to get up the court as quick as possible. But the team that we could play also, Schroeder-Padilla, Schroeder is the same type of that. The only problem with Schroeder is they got a couple guys that I don't know, we'd call them skyscrapers, but they're some big old boys. There's 2 of them actually. One of them's listed at about 6'6". The other one, I think I saw this wrong, but I want to say it said 6'9". I don't think that's correct because I just don't think. I think we would have heard about him at this point, but I believe confidently they're going to have some height and they might cause a problem for any team they face in that second round.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, if these guys can get a few wins in the tournament, it's going to be great for these two seniors, Huff and Floyd.
Absolutely.
For them to continue their careers a little bit, something for them to think about as they mature and grow into men, and, you know, they can always look back and say, hey, we won a few games in the tournament and moved on to the districts, or whatever the case may be. But looking forward to next year, this team's only going to lose two seniors. There's going to be a lot of talent coming back to this basketball team. To have that to build on, say, hey, you know, we were a district qualifier, or, you know, we won sectionals, or we won a few games in the tournament. Yep. We finished with a winning record. It's going to be a springboard into next season.
Absolutely.
Coach Strieber and these guys.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. I'll tell you what's interesting, too, is Coach Strieber and I talked yesterday. He was at the Fairfield, Leesburg, and Astro girls game yesterday, and we got to talk for a little while, and, you know, just talking about next year a little bit. Not that he was looking forward to next year. I mean, he's focused just as anybody else, but just talking about, like you said, the loss of talent and what he's going to have returning. We've got a couple players on that JV level that I truly believe will be able to make the transition as varsity scorers. First on that list has to be Austin Mercer. I mean, if you're scoring anywhere between 14 to 16 points, you've had a couple games in the 20s. The kid just knows where the basket is. I mean, it's that simple. He knows where the basket is. He knows how to get there. He's a confident player. He's got a lot of energy. He's got a lot of swag. You know, he's somebody I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do next year for the varsity.
Right, I agree, and you know, you talk about the kids that are playing varsity that are coming back. You know, you got Clyde Snow, who's a tremendous leader, does a lot of things well offensively and defensively, averaging nearly 10 points a game on the season this year. Johnny Blair's a great scorer and only a sophomore, gives you some height. Yeah. You know, Caleb Kaplinger is a great player as well, can do a lot of things.
Yeah,
Floyd is a great defensive player, as we've seen already in this game, and has got the ability to score also.
Yeah.
So the future looks bright for East Clinton basketball over the next few years.
I actually think Caleb Kaplinger could morph into the leader of this team because he's so vocal, but he backs it up with effort. He backs it up with energy. He backs it up with, you know, paying attention and being coached well. So it'd be interesting to see what kind of personality this team takes. One of the things Coach Strieber and I have talked about is the fact that it doesn't seem like there's a lot of vocalism. I think they've kind of followed Dalton's example of you don't need to say much, just go play ball, which is fine. But sometimes teams take on a different personality the next year depending on if their leaders are more vocal as well. And I think next year you're going to have Clyde, you're going to have Caleb Kaplinger. They're both local vocal guys. So I think the personality is going to change just a little bit. Just a second here, we have about 2 minutes before our halftime's over. We do have Coach Gerber from our girls varsity team. Coach Gerber coming back from the tournament over at Wilmington High School. Just tell us more about how the girls' effort was, you know, how they finished up the season. You know, what were some of the bright spots you saw in this game?
We struggled offensively, of course, which we have all year, but this group, I can't say enough about how they battled. We struggled. They come out hot in the first quarter, and we got down big, but after that, I mean, they fought, we scored, and they never quit. And bright spots, you know, I know the record's not what people want to see, but this group fought tooth and nail, never once quit on, and that's, as a coach, I mean, when you have a season like this, that's what you look for, the effort.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Coach. I mean, I've been to a majority of the games, and I would echo that same sentiment. I'm the one that maybe try to convince you every once in a while when it was a rough game to say, hey, let's look at the bright side. I know you always did anyway, but, you know, it is that effort. I cannot tell you how impressed I am with games that I've seen, unfortunately, where they were down by 50, down by 40. You got girls diving on the floor. You got girls playing their heart out, you know, running for balls as they go out of bounds, you know, still having the same intensity that they had the very first second of the game. So that's impressive. Now that the season is over, though, talk to us a little bit about just the outlook for next year, and what do you think, what are the main things you need to work on, maybe from the team side and then from the coaching side going into next year?
First off, I appreciate that and supporting these kids. Says a lot about them, and so going into this off season, we're putting together already started on that, putting together a program to, you know, improve. We got to develop a score, and there's somebody we can go to when we need to, and so that's what we're looking for. we're going to work real hard on that and really work to develop a point guard and somebody that we can just turn it over to and they can run the show for us. Myself, I can continue to work on, learning a little bit more about some different offenses to help fit our personnel. Right. Sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. And we're losing some size next year again, but we're also gaining a couple big 8th graders that could help us big time. So we'll kind of design some offense around them.
Let's speak about that for just a second. Coming up from the 8th grade team, I'm not sure of any kind of record. You said there's a little help coming your way. So what are you looking at besides the size? Is there a scoring threat in either one of those young ladies, or maybe multiple girls coming up?
Yeah, there's some. I think they finished up 8-5 somewhere around in there. Got beat in the semifinals of the league tournament. Got a couple. Bree Davis, she's a post player. She could really step up. She needs to get a little bit stronger and a little bit more physical, but I think once she takes on that, she's going to be a dominant post player. There's a couple about 3 guards in there that really can make things happen. They're very good at creating their own shot and doing those sort of things to kind of when things start to break down. So I'm looking a lot on them to kind of help out, and we've also had a couple kids that didn't play this year at the high school level that talked about coming back out, which says a lot. So.
And I got to ask, because this is my mentality, it's all about leadership to me. On the floor, I know you're a leader, but, you're losing Maria Bond, you're losing Brittany, you're losing Hannah. I question, and I don't question it in a negative way. I question because you've seen them more than I have. Who is the next leader? Who's going to take the reins after this year?
The couple that I've really been impressed with that really stepped up are a couple sophomores, Sam Gaddis and Sierra Cooper. Big time. They really kind of caught on the middle of the season. Them kind of getting on their teammates a little bit in practice, knowing the plays and really pushing each other. And that's I was worried about that exact same thing, that leadership. But I think we'll be fine in that situation next year.
Well, I agree. I think Gaddis has that opportunity, and I know Sierra and her mom, and there's a lot of support from that family. So, it's kind of like Dalton, and we talked just a second ago, Jeremy and I, about how a team takes on the personality of its leader. Dalton's a little more quiet. This team's a little more quiet. Next year, they're going to have Clyde and Caleb as their leaders and more vocal. And do you see that being a transition for you? Maybe a little more vocal, maybe, because I could see Sam being a little more vocal.
Yeah, I think she's going to hold people accountable, and that's what something. That was kind of my job all year, and I'd like to have, one of those leaders that can kind of take that on themselves. And
you want a floor general.
Exactly. And with the way that those two have improved, they've got that clout, with the team right there.
All right, Will, we appreciate your time this evening. Great season as far as you got out of them the best you could. You worked hard. They worked hard. The effort was always there. What came up in the wins column, of course, we'd all want to see more, everybody, yourself, but it wasn't meant to be this year. That's okay. We're moving on, ready for next year.
All right, I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to join back to action here. Clyde Snow's going to have the ball at the top of the key. Goes to cut, but is stopped by Isaiah Johnson with the defense, pushing him to the far side of the lane. Jared Huff gets the ball off the miss to Caleb Kaplinger for a three-point shot. In and out. Johnny Blair is going to get the rebound, try to put it up a little quicker than he needed to probably. Could have taken at least one step and stepped and put that in. That's a three-point shot for Tommy Bolt, and I don't know about you, but I'm looking for Cole Floyd again because Tommy Bolt's trying to get hot.
Yeah, I have to agree, and I know while you were talking to Coach Gerber there, Dalton scored a bucket there for East Clinton to try to get him back into the game, but I tell you, Isaiah Johnson just keeps – he is a man out there, it seems like. As I watch him more, that young man can play some basketball at both ends of the court.
Yeah, he's not overwhelming in height. He's got a little bit of size to him, but I think he's just doing it more on a little bit of confidence. He's the one player that the ref had to say something to because he's confident enough to speak out. Wells tries to strip the ball from Clyde Snow. Dalton Floyd gets the ball. It is stripped by Bolt to Jared Huff. Three-point shot scored by Jared Huff. 37-34 is your score, and obviously the Astros are coming out a little hot here in the second half.
Yeah, big bucket there by Huff. Pulled this lead back to 3 points, excuse me.
Tommy Bolt.
Tommy
Bolt.
Tommy Bolt.
If we have any archery fans in the listening audience, we all know that a crossbows. Oh, Clyde Snow with the 3-point basket. A crossbows ammunition is called a bolt, and I'll tell you, sometimes he looks fast enough to be shot out of a crossbow. Isaiah Johnson, the ball's missed, returned. Jared Huff gets the ball as it's going out of bounds. And a score! I'll be honest with you, this place is going nuts. It's tied 39-39. Just an unreal effort from the Astros coming out of that second half.
Yeah, and that intensity that we talked about, kind of like they were playing lethargic, a little slow in the first half. They've come out with a much more fire here to start this second half, playing with the same type of aggressiveness and tempo that Chillicothe's playing with. And what do you know, here we are tied up. So a lot of credit to these Astros. If we could just get some defense on Tommy Bolt, I think this can be possibly a win for East Clinton. They've just got to keep the same intensity.
I'll tell you, honestly, I don't see how Cole Floyd doesn't go back in to shut down Tommy Bolt. I mean, he pretty much took care of him the entire second quarter. Or maybe Scott Streber's thought is, can we shut him down in the fourth? Right now, it looks like we're at the 3-minute, 51-second mark of the third quarter. 39-39 is your score. The Astros coming out hot in the second half. Quick scores there by Clyde Snow, Caleb Kaplinger, and Dalton Floyd. Return scores by Tommy Bolt. Tommy Bolt is the guy that's been going to here for the Cavaliers. Looks like the Cavaliers are going to bring the ball down the court. Number 42, Benson's going to pass it off to number 11, Nate Rosenbauer. Rosenbauer is going to be guarded at the timeline by Clyde Snow. Again, a big crowd here on a Wednesday night. Kind of getting a ruckus going on with this come from behind tie here. Clyde Snow brings the ball back up for defense against Nathan Rosenbauer. Rosenbauer over to Isaiah Johnson. Isaiah Johnson brings the ball up. It's rebounded by Clyde Snow. Fakes the pass. Brings the ball up to Dalton Floyd. Dalton Floyd's going to take the ball up and over with a score.
What a lay-in there by Dalton. A little dribble drive, scoop shot.
Yeah.
Giving him 11 points now on the night.
I would say that there's an old saying that says, the one thing I could do was finger roll.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, that was a nice finger roll.
Clyde Snow with that foul there, man. That's his third for the game.
I'm a little surprised. There was kind of a cluster of players there. Looks like Cole Floyd's coming back to the game. I think the plan was just to wait to bring him in just a little bit longer and lock him down on the fourth quarter. But unfortunately, fouls are going to force us to do it at this point with a 41-39 lead on a layup by Dalton Floyd. First foul shot is missed. Tommy Bolt, 1 out of 2 from the foul line. Johnny Blair brings the ball up the court across the timeline, guarded by Bolt. I'll tell you what, Bolt might not be the tallest guy in the world. He's got very long arms, very long arms.
Yeah, he does, and he's a nice athlete that takes a nice jump shot. I have to give him credit for that. He's got 12 points in the game now, and they've kind of come in spurts. He had that 6 points right off the get-go, and then as Cole Floyd was not on the court, he gets another 6 real quick.
That's going to be a foul on Bolt. Again, aggressive. As soon as the ball is given to a player for the Astros, their hands are all over him. So number 12, Tommy Bolt picks up that foul. It's going to give the Astros a foul into the second quarter. Dalton drives the lane, scoop shot, misses it in the lane, rebounded by Isaiah Johnson, out to Rosenbauer. Rosenbauer stops his dribble around the top of the key. Nathan Taylor out to Tommy Bolt. Tommy Bolt brings the ball against Cole Floyd, takes a shot. Rebound by Dalton Floyd. Dalton Floyd's going to slow it down just a little bit across the timeline. A hard pass trying to get it to his brother Cole. Cole brings the ball back up to the top of the key. Going to turn it over. Nope. It looks like he was going to pass to Levi Luttrell. It's going to go out of bounds with a block from Tommy Bolt. Tommy Bolt's got a nice vertical leap there on him. I believe that's helping him on that jump shot. It seems like he's getting a little above some of the Astro players there.
Yeah, Matt, I'll correct a mistake I just made when I actually was incorrect when I said Dalton had 11 points. He actually has 13 for the game now.
Okay. Ball's out on
the second half.
Ball's out on the Cavaliers. It's going to be turned over, or can stay with the Astros. Turnover by the Astros to Wells. Wells pushes in and scores. 42-41 is going to be the lead for the Cavaliers.
7 points now for Wells.
I remember specifically Wells having a little bit more of a scoring night against us at Chillicothe, so holding him back is good, but Tommy Bolt to the rack again with a score. And Scott Streever's going to take a 30-second timeout. 44-41. The Astros are down now by 3 points.
And Tommy Bolt now with 14 points in the game, and he's starting to catch fire here in this second half. 8 already here in the third quarter. And of note, Matt, I know we have another big county basketball game tonight down at Lebanon High School. The Clinton Massey girls taking on the Wilmington girls in the second round of tournament action. And last update I had was Clinton Massey 24-9 at halftime.
Oh, woo!
Actually had a 10-0 lead. It was almost like a football score at the end of the first quarter.
Wow, wow, that's interesting. Yeah, you wouldn't expect that. And wow, what a draw for two SCOL teams to end up in the second round against each other, and two of the better SCOL girl teams.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, SCOL next year for Wilmington.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
Southwest Ohio Conference.
You're right.
But,
yeah.
They played each other earlier this year during the Christmas tournament, and it was a 1-point game won by Clinton Massey.
Yeah.
Of course, Clinton Massey's coming into tonight's game 23-0, and Wilmington 17-6. But like you said, what a tough draw for those two to have to play each other in the second round. But it appears that Clinton Massey's going to move on as they're the number 3 team in the state. So best of luck to the Lady Falcons.
Ball's pass from Cole Floyd, trying to go over to Dalton Floyd. It looks like the second time that a Floyd went to the hoop and maybe should have just taken the layup, and he decided to kind of dish it off there, and it went out of bounds.
Yeah, it looked like another easy layup that could have been taken advantage of. And I guess you can't say that they're being selfish. They're wanting to dish off and give their ball to their teammates, but sometimes you just got to take the shot yourself.
Jump stop by Rosenbauer. Rosenbauer takes a shot. It goes out of bounds. Goes out of bounds against Rosenbauer, so it's going to be turned over to the Astros.
Little full court pressure here now by Chillicothe.
Johnny Blair gets the ball. Going to be guarded by Tommy Bolt as Tommy Bolt backs up, crosses the timeline. Johnny Blair looks for an offensive player to get it to. It's Jared Huff. Jared Huff dribbles, loses his dribble, and passes it back out to Johnny Blair. Johnny Blair at the top of the key. Sets up an offense right here. Looks for a cut for Dalton Floyd. It's to Jared Huff. Jared Huff brings the ball up and over to Johnny Blair. Looks like he had a crease for just a second. It's shut down. Dalton Floyd tries to drive the lane. Misses a shot on the far side there. Tommy Bolt's going to bring it up. Wells for 3. Misses it. Cole Floyd gets the rebound. He's guarded by Tommy Bolt Tommy Bolt grabs the ball as it's going out of bounds, but it's going to be over to the Astros.
15 seconds here to go in the third quarter, Matt. So opportunity for East Clinton to take the last shot. Been a good quarter for them. You know, they were down by 7.5, now only down by 3 here.
Looks like we're going to play for the last shot here. Tommy Bolt's putting pressure on Johnny Blair, who dishes it off to Jared Huff. Jared Huff gives it to, looks for it like he's trying to make a play. Shot's kind of wide left there with just a second left, and we're going to go 44-41 into the third quarter. Clyde Snow and Levi Lutcher are going to check back into the game for the Astros.
Yeah, good quarter there for East Clinton, you know, scoring 18 points that quarter. Come out, like I said, they come out with a good sense of urgency, good intensity, good tempo, played some better defense. Seems like they got better looks on the offensive end as well.
Yeah, it seemed that way, and it was a little more aggressive, a little more drive to the hoop. not as much waiting around. It was pushing it just a little bit. You know, I can't fail to mention that our East Clinton Competition Cheerleading Club will also be returning a generous amount of their nationally ranked, or I guess, or nationally competing team. They are losing Tony Seeger and Erica Carver, but you know, I think they're going to have a lot of success next year with both the Bear twins coming back. They've got Miss Moore coming back. It should be a nice run for them for a little while, hopefully.
Yeah, excellent group of cheerleaders there. You got to give them a lot of credit, all the time and effort that they put in, not only just to cheer at the games, but to go and compete nationally. And got a chance to talk to quite a few of them, and it's been so exciting for them to get to be able to do that. And just an excellent group that they are.
If anybody thinks for a second that those girls don't practice hard, come to school one day. Watch Heather Miller send them through a routine that I don't want any part of. Any part of. It first starts with running, conditioning, you know, cardiovascular. I think I'd be done right then.
Yeah.
But even after that, they go for 2 hours straight. And, I mean, they are flipping, they're twisting, you know, they're screaming. I don't see how they have a voice.
That's what cheerleaders are supposed to do.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
But a day after day, it just seems like at some point the voice will go out. Johnny Blair with a score. First free throw, that puts 44-42 as your score. Cavaliers lead by 2. Looks like Scott Strieber might be changing up the defense here a little. Let's see when he comes back down the court. Yep. Let's see what kind of defense we got, or he's calling the full court press, one of the two. Isaiah Johnson gets it out to Taylor. Taylor's going to shoot it. Jesse Livingston gets his rebound. Johnny Blair is going to return the ball back across the timeline, out to Cole Floyd. I'll tell you what, that was a nice take by Cole Floyd. That was a real nice take by Cole Floyd. As soon as his hands touched the ball, he was going down that baseline and trying to score up and under.
That foul called on Nolan Taylor there. That's his 4th foul now for the Cavaliers. Still a little bit over 7 minutes to go in this ball game.
Yeah, I'm surprised. It seems like the fouls have calmed down a little bit. We thought early there might be some trouble, some depth issues, but I'll tell you, I think they'll be just fine. If Taylor's the only one out of the game, they'll be able to take that.
Right. Yeah, I have to agree with you. And now it seems like we're having a flurry of turnovers.
Yeah,
as
both teams.
Turns it over at this end.
Looks like we're running the double high post there. Cole Floyd gets a partial block on his ball. Tommy Bolt returns the ball across the timeline. Hard foul by Jesse Livingston.
Definitely a hard foul there by Jesse that time, and the Chillicothe coach upset with that. But, I mean, I don't think there was any ill intent there. He's definitely trying to make a play for the ball.
Yeah, he was going for the ball.
The body pretty hard.
Yeah. I can't help. I'm sorry. I cannot help. I don't want to make this the Matt Baker show. But every time I just think that I was Jesse Livingston.
You were that guy.
I mean, I was that guy. I literally was a guy that they said, hey, see number 12? You know, go put a bruise on him. You know? And Jesse has no problem having that role. He is totally okay with that role. Now, the great thing is he also can shoot three-pointers. He also can rebound. You know, he's not just a one-trick pony, but I'll tell you what, he likes contact. He has no problem with a little bit of contact, and I like that about him. Of course, I would say I was better looking, but, you know, we at least had the same style play.
Right.
Yeah. Clyde Snow tries to dish the ball, and he does. To Levi Luttrell. Luttrell gives the ball to Dalton Floyd as he's going out of bounds with a quick up and under score. It's going to make it 46-45, 1 point lead by the Cavaliers.
15 points now for Dalton Floyd. Having another typical Dalton Floyd night, as he's averaging nearly 17 a game for the season.
Isaiah Johnson tries to post up Jesse. Jesse pulls him off. Ernie Wells, missed opportunity there. 3-point shot. Jesse Livingston is going to bring the ball off the court. He's going to bring it out to Clyde Snow. Clyde Snow is going to have Nathan Rosenbauer on him to guard him. Calling an offense out here. It looks like a 4-1 here. It's moved by Clyde Snow. to the left side of the wing. Jesse brings the ball to Cole Floyd, partially blocked. The ball goes out of bounds, touched last by the Cavaliers. Number 2, Eddie Wells. Eddie Wells.
And Tommy Bolt again showing his presence as he tipped that ball as Cole Floyd was getting ready to take an easy 8-foot jumper. Tommy Bolt knocks that ball out of bounds.
You know, I'll be at the SCOL banquet as I was with football and the fall sports. If Tommy Bolt's name isn't called as first team SCOL, my gosh, I might even stand up and say there's a travesty of justice.
He's definitely having first team all SCOL night tonight. He's got 17 points in the game.
And if I were not mistaken, I don't believe I am, he probably had a similar game against us at Chillicothe.
Very deep three-pointer there that time by Clyde.
Yeah,
25 foot out there.
He just didn't seem like he was comfortable there. Didn't seem like he needed to shoot it. I think he just got a little impatient. Second foul on Cole Floyd. It's going to bring the Cavaliers underneath the basket. 4 fouls for the Cavaliers, 3 for the Astros. Tommy Bolt gets the ball at the top of the key. He's going to set up the offense here. Benson gets a twist move, puts the ball up, rebounded by Dalton Floyd. Dalton Floyd brings the ball up the court. You know, Dalton and I's dad talked a little bit about what his goals are in basketball, maybe after high school. And, you know, he's kind of that tweener. He's kind of that tweener where if he wants to go play at the next level, he's going to have to turn himself into a 2 because he's just not tall enough to be a 3. But his ball handling skills, and this is by, I'm sure, his own admission, will have to improve if he wants to play a 2-guard position at a collegiate level.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I mean, he's got the athletic ability to do either or, and I know with his work ethic, he will work hard to attain whatever he wants to. He can shoot, he can score. He needs to get stronger. He needs to get a little bit quicker. He needs to work on a lot of things to be a great player at the next level. But I can see him doing that.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting. Dalton Floyd with an easy basket. 47-47. Livingston with an assist there. I'll tell you, he threaded a needle, but it was a beautiful pass. Isaiah Johnson, they just give it right back to him. 49-47 Cavaliers. It seems like when we score, the Cavaliers immediately go back on offense. When they score, we slow down just a little bit.
Yeah,
I think that's the difference right now.
I agree with you, and we've seen a lot of that as this game got underway. Chillicothe was just so willing to get back down the court so quick.
And I'll tell you, this game might go down in infamy because we've had an emotional reaction from Dalton now. So that makes both Floyds with an emotional reaction.
Dalton with 19 points now.
Why we didn't get this on film is a travesty of justice. Travesty.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. He's going to drive again. Oh, loses the ball. Levi Luttrell gets the ball, kicks it out to Clyde Snow to Jesse Livingston. The ball is going to be off the mark to the left. Dalton Floyd with the shot. Levi Luttrell goes for the rebound. Ball is going to go off Tommy Bolt and stay with the Astros. 49-49 with 3:11 left in the fourth quarter. Looks like ball's going to be out of bounds against the Cavaliers. Return to the Astros. We have a little officials injury timeout here. 42, which is Matt Benson, good player for the Cavaliers, nice rebounder, had a couple nice moves on offense, goes to the sideline with looks like an eye poke, an eye gouge, an eye gash. Johnny Blair's about ready to check back in the game here.
Nolan Taylor checked back in for the Cavaliers there. Remember, he's got 4 fouls on him.
I'm sure that's not the coach's first choice, but it was a have to at this point. Clyde Snow gets the ball off of a kind of kerbobbled mess. Makes a 2-point, about a 12-foot jumper there for the 2-point lead for the Astros.
This crowd, Matt, this crowd really coming alive here as they can sense that this game may go the Astros' way.
Call's going to be on Cole Floyd, which is going to give him 3 with 2 minutes and 36 seconds left. At this point, there's no way you pull him out. You leave him in, you let him play, do what he can.
Definitely.
Johnny Blair.
Yep. Blair checked back into the game. Levi Lettrell coming out for the Astros.
Shoot it!
Boy with a nice move. Gets his own rebound, goes back up. Nice shot. Jesse Livingston returns the ball to Johnny Blair. Johnny Blair brings it across the timeline. No reason to rush here. We're going to have a officials timeout because the ball, or I'm sorry, a
water bottle.
Water bottle made it onto the floor.
Out on the court.
Yeah. Was that a Jason Kidd moment? Was that a I'm going to spill my Coke so we'll have an opportunity?
Yeah, I don't think that was Coach Freeber's
No,
intent
I don't think
there.
so. Little humor there, humor, yeah. Dalton Floyd trying to post up Isaiah Johnson. Caleb Kaplinger is going to be called for the 3-second violation. I can honestly tell you that is the first time all year I have seen anybody call 3 seconds for the boys. I've seen it a couple times at girls' games.
It's a call you don't see too often, and I'll tell you why. Perhaps why. As I was like I've said before, I was an instructor teaching the new officials to come in. I always believed in preventative officiating. Talk players out of penalties and violations.
Right.
That's something you can easily, as you're the lead official on the baseline, you can easily talk a player out of. You could say, hey, 20, get out of the lane, get out of the lane. And I would say that routinely. If they didn't step out after I yelled it a couple times, I'd give them the 3-second call. But I gave them the opportunity to get out of there. Sometimes they just don't hear it, or maybe they don't want to hear it.
I think that's the right thing to do as an official. You are still trying to teach a little bit of this game at the high school level. There's a few things that we need to still do and do well. So, one of the things is tell them, hey, you got a 3 seconds, watch out for that. Or maybe, when you're away from the ball and you have the underneath official telling them, hey, hands off, watch the elbows, watch hands. Cavaliers get the ball, top of the key to Isaiah Johnson. Isaiah Johnson over to Eddie Wells. Eddie Wells brings it back to Rosenbauer. Rosenbauer to Tommy Bolt. Of course, Tommy Bolt. Gets the ball returned to Nathan Rosenbauer. Rosenbauer looks up to Eddie Wells. He's going to recover a mishandled ball. Dalton Floyd playing a little defense on Mr. Wells. Isaiah Johnson kicks the ball out to Nolan Taylor. Taylor misses on the front of the iron. Ball's going to stay with the Cavaliers because there were 2 Astro players trying to go for the ball.
Yeah, and I have to give credit to those Astro players underneath the basket at that time. They blocked out very well on that. And unfortunately, just 2 of them kind of came away with the ball. The ball hit the ground, and it went off one of them's foot and rolled out of bounds. So kind of a tough break there for the Astros.
Eddie Wells takes the ball back out to Bolt. Bolt puts a 3-point shot in.
Big shot there from Tommy Bolt. 21 points
Who else?
the night for him.
Ball turned over by the Astros. Little bit of celebrating there by the Cavaliers, and the official comes in from underneath and immediately squashes that, trying to make an additional call by the officials there. It's going to be 56-51, a quick turnaround, a 3-point basket, and a 2-point score for the Cavaliers with another shot to come.
Yeah, just disheartening for the Astros. Sitting here just a few seconds ago, tied up at 51, and now they got a 5-point deficit. Bolt going to the line, trying to extend this lead to 6. And he does. He sinks it as he should.
We had 4 hands also on a ball as it was 51-51, and the ball goes out of bounds. So.
Right.
Ball goes to Dalton Floyd. Dalton Floyd extends, shoots. Ball rims in and out. Isaiah Johnson with the rebound. Jared Huff's going to be called with the hold, turning the ball over to the Cavaliers for a 1-on-1 opportunity. 57-51 is your score with 52 seconds left.
Eddie Wells, 1-on-1.
Cavaliers choosing to put 2 defenders back across the timeline. Still bring 2 people in for the rebound. Eddie Wells is at the line. Looks like we're going to have a lane violation.
Actually, I think we have is that what he called, a lane violation?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm a little confused there.
Yeah.
I thought he was getting a foul against Isaiah Johnson there, but
yeah, it might have been the case because they only have 4. Clyde Snow with a shot off the left side of the rim. He's going to be, Eddie Wells is going to bring the ball back. He's going to be fouled. Jared Huff's going to have a foul there, which turns the ball over again to a 1-and-1 opportunity. Well, we didn't think this would be the way it ended, but we were right all along when it comes down to foul shots.
Yeah, definitely. And you just got to think, what's happened here in the last 50 seconds. We were tied up, and East Clinton had the opportunity to get the rebound and couldn't come away with it when they clearly should have. And things could be different right now. The lead could have went their way, and now they're staring a 7-point deficit in the face with the 41 seconds to go in this ballgame.
Eddie Wells with his first attempt, and it is a made attempt, putting them up 58-51. He's going to make the second one, turning it to an 8-point lead with only 41 seconds left in the ballgame. Defensively, you want to back up. You almost want to play prevent. Give the Astros an opportunity to shoot a few. Johnny Blair with a smart play there, trying to draw the foul, but Tommy Bolt with a little body control gives the opportunity up, and they're going to just move the ball around. Jared Huff's going to draw a foul with 22 seconds left.
Astros foul 21, Jared Huff, his fourth. Team's time.
Well, I don't want to say woulda, coulda, shoulda, but 22 seconds left in an 8-point deficit. It just seems like there was an opportunity to bring this home, and it slipped away out of the Astros' hands.
Well, I have to agree with you. I have to agree with you, Matt. Seems like we have an issue with the table, the official, and the Chillicothe coaches here.
Doesn't surprise me. He's been rather vocal the entire game.
Yeah. Nice hand here for Jared Huff and Dalton Floyd, the seniors, as they're coming out of the game. Coach Struber giving Dalton a hug here, and definitely emotional. As they look back to the last minute, this game could have went either way.
Yeah.
Just slipped away from them here in the final minute of the game.
Yeah, we're going to have a 61-51 lead for the Chillicothe Cavaliers. Ball returned to Johnny Blair as he crosses the timeline. Going to bring the ball to Jesse Livingston for an easy 2-point bucket. And the Astros are good enough with just allowing this to go away with about 7 seconds left and a 8-point deficit. They're going to turn the ball over to the referees and call this game over. Well, it was close. It was a nail biter for a good portion of that fourth quarter, but the Cavaliers in the end pull away, give an 8-point lead to finish this game, and 61-53 is your final score.
Yeah, very disappointing, Matt. I mean, it seems like here we were just a minute ago thinking East Clinton could pull this out. And, a 10-2 run to finish the game in the last minute and 20-some seconds by the Cavaliers. And these Astro players have to be very discouraged, disappointed, because this is a game that they could have had. That, it looked like that they may be able to pull out, but hopefully Coach Struber and these young men can take something away from this, because they played a very good Chillicothe team right down to the wire and had a chance. I'm
going to ask you the age-old question: is there a moral victory? Is there such thing as a moral victory?
No, I've never believed in that.
Okay.
Being a coach,
former coach, right.
I've never believed in that. I mean, you win or you lose. And the only thing I can say is I'll take an ugly win any day. But the thing I've always told my kids is when you do lose, if you can take something away from it,
right,
if it makes you a better team,
then it's not all bad.
Right.
Certainly you want to figure out why it happened, what you could have done to prevent it, what you need to do to get better, all those things. But just try to learn from it. And hopefully this loss that they're coming off of, and we play a week from tonight.
Right.
Start tournament play. Hopefully they can take something from this loss that helps boost them to a win next week.
Yeah. I think there is a few things, and that is that when they need to turn up the tempo, they were able to do that. They were able to say, we've got to take it to the next level, coming out of second half, coming out of that locker room, and they did. I mean, they absolutely did. Now, sustaining it for 2 more quarters, sustaining it for the last 16 minutes, that's still to be determined. But overall, quality execution, especially in the second half. I know you'll give us some stats, but what did we end the first half with as far as score?
What, the halftime score?
Yeah.
Was 30-23.
Okay, so we put 31 in the second half compared to the 30 in the first half. So, yeah, I'm sorry, you said 23. Okay, so we put in 30 in the second half, but 23. Right, yeah, that's good. That's good.
An excellent third quarter where we come away with 18 points in that third quarter.
Right.
And actually took the lead. I think our lead got as high as 3 points, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so, yeah.
We were up 44-41 at one point, I believe. It's disappointing. I'm disappointed for these young men.
Especially the seniors.
Yeah, especially the seniors. They're like to, even their record on the year at 11-11. Instead, they fall to 10-12 now, and 2-10 in the SCULs. We had the tournament playing. Like we said, we're going to either play the winner of Finneytown, which is your alma mater, or Schroeder. Which that game's Saturday, I believe.
Yeah.
That game as
or
well
is it Friday
down
night?
at Western Brown High School there in Mount Orb. So,
now the question also is, we answered whether there's a moral victory or not, but coming out of this game, can you say to yourself that we have an opportunity to play with a transition scoring team? Because Schroeder and Finneytown, I believe, are going to be heavy transition. They're going to want to get the ball up the court. They'll be able to out-athlete us, in their opinion. That's what they'll be thinking. Whether it's true or not, we'll see. But can we hang with a team that's ready to run and gun from literally the tip-off?
Well,
or do you go UAB style and slow it down every time you cross time line?
I guess that's something for Coach Strieber to determine. And, of course, we know he'll be there watching the game Saturday, getting a scouting report on whoever they're going to play. And just whatever he feels the individual matchups should dictate. They may be able to run with one team and not the other. And Chillicothe was certainly a team that ran on us, and it didn't look like as this game was getting started that we were going to be able to do that.
Right.
But as the second half came around, we got into the third quarter, we ran with them very well.
Right.
We got better looks on the offensive end, and we played better defensively. That's why we cut into that lead and took the lead.
Right.
And this Chillicothe team is very athletic, and I'm very impressed with Tommy Bolt and how he played. And Isaiah Johnson, those two athletes are tremendous.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know, as we've shared with you through the season, Dalton Floyd's stats and some of the stats that he's had game by game. Tommy Bolt's got to be that player for them. I mean, he's scoring probably anywhere between 12 to 17 to 20 points a game. Didn't take as many three-pointers in this game that I know he took against us at Chillicothe. He just changed his game up to get what we could give. With our defense, it made sense for him not to shoot long-range three-pointers. He was able to drive the lane. He was able to elevate at a 10 to 15-foot range and just try to go over the defense with a jumper.
Yeah, definitely. And he played well at both ends. I mean, he played great defense. He rebounded.
Yeah.
And that, as all the Cavaliers did. I'm very impressed, and I think that goes back to their coaching the style that they want to play. They play with just fire. I mean, their defense is ferocious. I mean, they are up in your face as soon as you're putting the ball in bounds, as soon as you're touching the ball, and it really caused a lot of problems for East Clinton in the first half. And I give credit to the Astros in the second half. They changed things and they played a lot better. I don't think we had as many turnovers. I know you commented we had a lot of turnovers.
Especially in the first half,
yeah. We did, and we didn't turn that many.
Didn't seem
like we turned it over that much in the second half. I don't have those numbers, but I'll give credit to Coach Strieber and the boys. They played a great second half.
I'm just, where I'm at right now as far as my concern level is somebody that wants to just come out, go full throttle, pedal to the metal, is it going to be a little too late if we wake up, start of the second half or start of the second quarter even?
Yeah, and that's something that Coach Streber's commented on before. I know I've interviewed him in some post-game interviews or pre-game interviews earlier this year, and he still comments about not being able to put together a full 4 quarters, and we've seen that again tonight.
Yeah,
it's the thing that's held this team back from they're an average team, 10-12, to possibly being a pretty good team that may have won a few more games had they put together a full 4 quarters.
Right. Is there, with that record in mind, how, and you hear coaches say this all the time, is there that much of a difference with 11-11 and 10-12? I know 500 to below 500, but, do you say to yourself as a team, oh, well, we're 500, we must be better than if we were 2 below 500?
I don't know if there's that big of a difference. This game could have went either way tonight. Being 11-11 or 10-12 going into next week, I don't think that really matters as much as if they would have won tonight, just the confidence they would have over the next 7 days, practicing, feeling good about practicing, and knowing that, hey, we just beat Chillicothe, which is a very good team. They're 15-6, only 2 losses in the league, showing that, hey, we can compete with better teams. Just that and their mindset would have helped them out more than anything, I think.
I couldn't agree more. I think the issue is practice. What are they going to do in practice for the next week, knowing that they've played as hard as they could, they came up a little short? What is that going to push them to do over the next week or so before they play another team that is going to be very, very similar in its makeup as far as transition basketball, a lot of athleticism, but maybe even not a lot of height. They're just going to run.
Right. Without seeing either Finneytown or Schroeder, I don't know for sure what they're going to face and what they can do. It seems like that we might be a team that is better off suited playing a half-court game against a team like that and setting up and getting the offensive look. And, but I know Coach Streber's here to visit with you, Matt, so I'll turn it over to you and Coach.
All right, we'll come back to you, Jeremy, for some stats after we talk to Coach Streber. Coach Streber, heartbreaking, I'm sure, is not going to put words. It's not going to be valid enough for you to express how you feel right now, not just for the seniors, but for your team in general. I guess the first thing I want to know is what can you come away with from this loss to make yourself better in the next week?
Well, first of all, that's a good team. They're on a big roll. They're a D1 school. They got a couple really nice players. Tommy Bolt is only a junior, excellent player. Put 27 up. He's put 28 and 30 up a few times this year. I thought we did a good job on him, and he ends up with 27 points. That shows you what kind of player. What can we take away from it? We can take away if we play together and play hard and play with heart like we've done in the last 3 games. And build on that. We told them in the locker room, we're 0-0, the same as everybody else in the state of Ohio is. So you win, you keep going, you lose, you go home. And we hated to not get this one for the seniors. It'll be emotional for them out there in a minute. And we wanted this one for them, but unfortunately we just came up a little bit short right there in the third, and little run in the third quarter. I thought maybe we could get up 4 to 6 points or so, 1 or 2 possessions, a couple turnovers. That's just the way the ball bounces, as they say. And but I'm proud of the effort. I don't think, other than the second quarter, we let down a little bit intensity-wise, but I thought overall we played hard. And we'll go to work, giving them day off tomorrow to rest a little bit, and we start up Friday and scout on Saturday, and then Monday, Tuesday we see what we can do, start the tournament here.
And Jeremy and I were talking, and the biggest concern for us, not coming away with the win, it would have been great for the seniors, I agree wholeheartedly, but practice. The next week of practice, as a coach, you're against it a little bit as far as the hell. Now, I know you want them to be excited. We're in the tournament. We're excited about who we'll be playing. It'll be a very similar team to Chillicothe. Either Schroeder Padilla or Finneytown will be a transition-style offense. They'll be running and gunning, getting the ball up and out as quick as possible. How do you keep everybody's head in it for the next week?
And that's a good point. I mean, it'd be nice, like you said, to go 4-0 to end the year and come on a big roll and right into it. These guys are tough, though. They don't quit. We're going to come in. We're going to try to simulate their pressure that we're going to face, I'm sure. They're going to be up and down the floor, like you said. They're going to full court press. They're going to be a lot like Riverview East as far as our first game of the year, where they're really fast, really athletic. We got to just do our fundamental stuff, get to our spots, box out, try to control the boards the best we can, and then execute our offense and not try to be out athletic of the other team. When we do that, we're a pretty solid team. Practice, yeah, it'll be pretty tough. It's hard to stay focused at this point, but these guys, they don't want their season to end. You can see that in there. Coaches don't want it to end. We want to keep going as long as we can, so we're going to do what we can do to prolong this season.
Well, unfortunately, the season is going to come to an eventually for our two seniors, Jared Huff and Dalton Floyd. For just a second, I know you could speak the rest of the evening on it. Talk a little bit about Jared Huff and what he's meant to this team this year.
Well, Jared, he brings a lot of intensity, he brings a lot of togetherness within the team, I guess, and some leadership from the senior part. We're going to miss him. The guys in the locker room saying the same thing. Guys got anything to say to him, and it's hard to replace it. We only have two, which I guess that's a good thing in a way, but it's hard to say goodbye to those two. Jared, well-rounded kid, just a good kid overall. There hadn't been a Christmas yet that I haven't got a Christmas card delivered to the desk from him every year. Probably the only player that's done that for every coach every year. Right. That's the type of kid he is. He's really thoughtful. Kids like him, gets along with all the teammates and so forth, and people in the school like him. Going to miss that. It's hard to replace a character like that within our team.
And then offensively, obviously Dalton Floyd's going to be somebody you're going to have to make up points for, putting anywhere between 10 to 12 to 14 to 20 to 29 at sometimes. Talk a little bit about him and what your plan is going into next year. And we don't want to look ahead, but we're thinking about the pieces that you have returning. What are you going to do to make up that scoring threat?
Well, first of all, you don't replace him with one kid. Right. You don't replace a player like that. We know that. We don't have anybody right now that's going to step in and say,
and be another Dalton Floyd.
Right. And nor do we want somebody to try to do that. Right. He's a special player, has been for 4 years here, 1,000 points, 500 rebounds. There's not too many people I know that have done that. That part of it we're going to miss tremendously. When he wants to get excited and take over games, you saw it. He literally takes over games, and there's not a lot the other teams can do about it. Thinking back to a couple years ago, Georgetown pretty much single-handedly brought us back into that game, won the game here. Miami Trace, 26 points, 19 rebounds. That's getting it done. You're not going to replace him with any one person. We've got 2 or 3 post people that we think, are going to be stepping in, and it may be a scoring by committee.
Oh, yeah.
We probably won't have a 20-point-a-game guy, but I'll take 3 12s or 3 15s a game. And looking into the off season, some of these guys have already talked about how they want to work and get into the 4-man workouts. And 30 days after our last tournament game, we're going to fire it up again, and hopefully that work ethic carries clear through the next year.
Speaking about, and this will be the last point before we let you go. I know you want to get down with your seniors, but I do have to make a remark on the emotional side of things, because I am absolutely disappointed that we didn't get this on film. We had some technical difficulty, because in this game we had an emotional reaction from both Cole Floyd and Dalton Floyd. I mean, that is honestly, if the apocalypse doesn't happen on my way home, I'll be shocked, because I mean we had a fist pump and a yell from Cole, followed in a quarter by another fist pump and yell from Dalton. Never seen it before.
And that's true. And I tell you, in practice 2 nights ago, we decided let's have some fun, and we worked on what we needed to. Dalton Floyd, and the video's going around. You can see it. It's on Facebook. I don't know if anybody put it on YouTube. We've got it on all the phones. He literally went up and dunked one and got excited, and then so did his brother. He jumped up and dunked one. I didn't know Dalton could jump that high and dunk one. I've seen him get some awful big rebounds. I've never seen him dunk one. Right. And saw some emotion out of him then. That's not Dalton's personality. We know that. I wish it would have been, because I think when he gets fired up, the rest of the team really gets fired up. And when he just goes about his business, it kind of looks like he's not excited. But we know he's playing hard. We've talked about that before. Again, going to miss that. And that's where we're going to need some leadership stepping up, and some guys we're going to need to be sticking together. And it's going to be 7, 8, maybe 9 guys. We counted up. We've got 18 guys competing for 12 varsity spots next year coming back that we think now. That's a good problem to have, and a lot of it's going to be decided through the summer workouts and so forth. And last comments about the seniors. Hopefully, I mean, again, we said leave it on the floor. I think they did that tonight. We've got to do that again Wednesday at Western Brown. Win, lose, whatever it is, we've got to send them out with the best effort that we can possibly give, and hopefully we can come back to Wilmington College and play in that sectional finals. That would be monstrous for us and for as a program to get that first tournament win.
Yeah, we wish you nothing but luck, Coach, and we appreciate your time this evening as well as the entire season. You've been willing to talk to us. Good luck with it, and of course, I hope that we play my alma mater. That Finneytown is my alma mater. Hopefully Schroeder goes down to them. I can see some of my old alumni friends, and it'll be real interesting. It'll be a special moment, not only for the players, but even for administration. So let's take whoever it is. Let's take it to them as best we can. All right, appreciate it. Thank you. Jeremy, we're going to come back to you, and I'm going to actually hand over the duties to you for just a second. We're going to have a quick talk with our Chillicothe coach. Okay, so Jeremy, why don't you is Lee going to talk to him for just a second? All right, here we go. Thank you.
They wouldn't let me talk all night, so now I'm going to talk. I want to thank you for coming by. Your name again?
Eric Huffer.
You sound like you've used that voice a little too much tonight.
I know. It's been a week since we played, so got to get my coaching voice back.
There you go. You were telling me that you're going to be playing in the tournament at Reynoldsburg, and you're, of course, a Division I school now, so that's pretty healthy competition.
Yeah, we missed Division II by 4 boys, so we're the smallest D1 in the state of Ohio, and we accept the challenge. We look forward to it, and our guys have been playing well lately, and Reynoldsburg's a lot like us, very guard-oriented. They're very fast, but not a lot of height, so, hopefully we can contain, and we'll see what happens.
Who is it you play up there?
We play Reynoldsburg. That's how they do it in the Central District.
Wow. So, you're going to be playing on their home court, and that can be a real advantage at times. But your boys really came back a couple of times when East Clinton would get a couple of points lead. Your team responded immediately.
Yeah, and, East Clinton's played pretty much everyone very hard in the league. They've played very well, and they've had a big win against Trace, and they've done some good things. And I think we got kind of fortunate when we played them up there. Senior night, no team wants to lose going into the tournament, and they played hard. They really clogged the lanes. They made us take contested shots with their gap defense, and they played well. It's a good group. He's got a bunch of good young players.
Yeah, and of course, only graduating 2 seniors. I think they'll bounce back pretty well next year. But how many seniors you have on your team?
We have 3, 2 starters, and we have 3, and we'll miss those guys. Number 35 is he's a great leader for us. He got cut last year,
wow.
And he's been phenomenal for us. And then our other senior didn't play a whole lot with the curly hair, Eddie Wells, and Nolan comes off the bench and does a good job for us.
Tommy Bolton,
yeah.
If I didn't say the name 47 times, and I'll kiss your foot, because it was Tommy Bolt block, Tommy Bolt steal, Tommy Bolt rebound, Tommy Bolt jumper. He is. He probably wouldn't over-impress you, just size. And, we'll call him an average height kid, but athleticism and want to is just, it's off the charts.
I called Tommy a basketball junkie. We get out of practice at 4:30 last night. He's the first one in. I come back at 6:45. He's still there, getting up shots. And it's not I put my beats on and I'm shooting balls. I got chairs there. I got cones. I'm doing drills. And he's really come on in just the last 2 years. He averaged about 7-8 points last year. He was their second best player, third best player last year. But the last month, he's developed a killer instinct where he is not going to let us lose. And he's really accepted that leadership role. He had to get mentally tough at the beginning of the year, and he's done that. I can't say enough. A great student. He's like straight A's, 1B maybe. And, I'm proud of Tommy, and he's, and a lot. You would think when I first got hired, everyone talked about Tommy this, Tommy that. He told me his name. I was like, no way, no way. But and I've told him that story before, and he's a special player, and I'm very blessed to have a player like that as a first-year coach.
He's one of those players that's just around the ball. He's there whenever there's a contested ball. He's there every time there's something going on.
Yeah, and our guys feed off of that, and you know, hopefully, you know, he can continue. He missed a lot of shots tonight. You guys played well on him, and usually he hits those.
Yeah.
He hits those. Watch out.
Yeah, he can light it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly. Well, Coach, best of luck at Reynoldsburg against Reynoldsburg, and best of luck in the tournament. We'll see you again next year. See you back in the SCOL again.
Yes, we appreciate it. You guys did a good job hosting today. Got cake and everything.
Yeah, can't beat that. And you even offered me a brownie, and you got cake. Boy, we're just having a good time. Well, Coach, thanks a lot, and we'll see you down the road soon, I'm sure. All right. All right, guys, back to you, Matt and Jeremy. You can wrap it up whenever you're ready.
Jeremy, I'm going to turn it right over to you, and let's talk stats. Let's talk some numbers.
Well, we'll talk Chillicothe first. Of course, the final score 61-35. Cavaliers come away with a win, improve their record to 15-6 on the year. And I heard Coach comment a minute ago that they started the year 3-5. So what a turnaround for his team, and best of luck to them in the tournament. But of course, leading all scores tonight was Tommy Bolt with 26 points, and then also Isaiah Johnson turned in a fine night. He had 15 points. Eddie Wells had 9. 4 points each for DJ Vinson and Matt Vinson, and Jordan Johnson had 3 points. And for these Clinton Astros, leading them in scoring, as usual, Dalton Floyd, 19 points, a little bit over his season average. And the usual cast of characters chipping in with about their average. Jarrett Huff, he had 9. Good performance for him in his final home game here at East Clinton.
Excellent.
8 points for Johnny Blair, 7 points for Clyde Snow, 4 points each for Cole Floyd and Jesse Livingston. 2 points for Caleb Kaplinger. Kind of a quiet night for Caleb. Might have missed him in scoring a little bit. But, it sums up the scoring there. And, you know, I'm just still disappointed for the young men because to finish, they were tied there at 51-51 with about 1:30 to go in the game. And just that one possession where they boxed out so well. And the ball come, and two, I can't recall who the two were, but two of them tried to get the rebound.
Cap and Floyd.
Okay.
And Dalton.
They tried to get the rebound, and the ball just kind of went right through both their hands, hits the floor, goes off one of their foot and out of bounds, and Chillicothe keeps the possession. And then they bust a 3, and then they shoot it. They get a
and
steal,
one, right.
And then they get an and one,
right.
And now all of a sudden it's a 6-point lead.
Right.
And things just, went south from there.
Unbelievable.
So just that little turn of events really just dictated how the game finished out.
I agree. Well, we're going to finish up with a comment quickly about Clinton Massey and Wilmington High School.
A big girls tournament action tonight down at Lebanon High School. Clinton Massey comes away with a huge win, 51-27 over the Hurricane. Wilmington finishes a fine season, 17-7 for Coach Butch Cooper and his girls. Clinton Massey improves to 24-0 on the year, and they will now play Bellbrook this Saturday at noon.
24-0. That's quite a mark.
Yeah, it is. I've seen their rankings number 3 in the state, and they drew the number 2 seed, and they could possibly play Alter, who's also, I believe, 24-0 right now. But that game wouldn't come until the regionals.
Well,
so, they got a little bit to go yet before they could play them, but what an excellent season for Clinton Massey. And I know we've commented before, when you got 2 girls that are Division I, they've signed D1. And
talent,
I know, one of them's going to Louisville. When you got that type of talent at this type of school like Clinton Massey, you can play with about anyone.
Yeah, I couldn't agree. Well, we want to give our hats off as we end the broadcast to Chillicothe. Successful win tonight, 61-53 over the Astros. The Astros will next be in action on Wednesday with the winner of Finneytown Schroeder Padilla. We'll see you again on the next broadcast. Thanks to Lee and the rest of our sponsors.
Western Brown
the 26th, 7:30 start. East Clinton Astros versus the winner of Finneytown Schroeder Padilla. We'll see you then. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen.